Good day. Today we're going to talk about internet, Wi-Fi, and Rockstar Bingo at venues and making sure that you have success. So let's get right into it. I'm going to get rid of make me a little bit smaller here, put me over there. And I'm going to just show you that I put a bit of thought into this. I'm going to try to break this into two pieces. The first part is going to be a brief introduction and then some immediate tools and things that you can do to test connectivity at a location. And then if you want to stay in the video longer, you can stick around and I'll provide more background, or you can earmark that for another time. So let's start with the basics. What is Rockstar Bingo? Rockstar Bingo is a music bingo platform that's paperless. There's lots of existing paper options out there, and for those that want to do that, that's fine, but that's not the mission of Rockstar Bingo. And so with Rockstar Bingo, we're expecting folks that are playing the game and hosting the game to have some element of decent, reliable internet or Wi-Fi, or internet through Wi-Fi. So that's the start there. Let's just talk about being at a venue. So when you're in a bar or when you're in an event center or wherever you might be playing the game, there's going to be you, the host, running music Rockstar Bingo from ideally a PC or a Mac. You can run it from a phone or a tablet, but because it doesn't properly multitask, you are asking for headaches for yourself. So we're ideally at some sort of computer, and that's you as the host. But you might also be employing the Jumbotron feature, which is either going to be run from a separate machine or a separate browser session from your laptop, but it's going to be pulling in stuff from YouTube and adding elements of internet connectivity. And you might also be using the Sidekick mode, which I won't go into here, but like our band uses it, and there's 4 of us that are using that during a show as well. So let's talk about the components. Well, Rockstar Bingo is built on the Google Cloud platform, so we need to be able to reach the Google Cloud. If you're using the Spotify integration to create your playlists or for playback, then you're going to want to make sure that you have a connection to Spotify. And if you're using the Jumbotron feature, YouTube or Vimeo, and or in the future, we're hoping to incorporate other services as well. But these are the 3 components today. And your players, the people that are there, are sitting at tables, standing up. They're on their smartphones, they're on their tablets, maybe even they dragged a computer there. But they're either connecting to a cellular signal, which is not your problem. That's just going to be what they're getting from their phone, or they might be using the wireless on-site on a network there at the bar at the venue. So the challenge with using wireless on-site is how reliable is it? When you walk into a venue as a host, how reliable is that internet? They might tell you, oh, it's always worked, but maybe that was 10 years ago and they've really never tested the load on that network because there aren't running many internet-based things in the bar except their point-of-sale machines for collecting money, or maybe streaming the odd football game or something. So these are things to think about, is how reliable is the wireless network that's on site there. So first off, again, I promised that I would get right into some tools, so let's do that here. We're going to go right to, I've got my browser open, and of course I've got the wrong one, so let's try this. There we go. So a couple things. One test is speed test. If you go to speedtest.net, I'm going to just do a test here of my own connectivity. And if you've done speed tests before, you're probably most familiar with download speeds. And download is important, even for Rockstar Bingo, but it's actually arguably not the most important thing. A good internet connection has good download and good upload because on the phones people are clicking buttons, and so there's interactivity going both ways now. And we also care about something called latency or ping test. So I'm just going to let this test run out, and then we're going to look at the numbers that I'm getting here in my office. One of the numbers has come in. So my download speed here is 213 megabits per second. That's really pretty good. Basically in 2008, 5 megabytes was good. I would say, like as a general rule of thumb, we want the venue to have at least 25 these days, and that's not asking a lot. But certainly over 100 it would be considered pretty decent. Upload speed the same. Like we want that to be above 5 for sure, maybe even above 10, and certainly anything greater is good. And then the ping, we want that to be fairly low as well. So in this case, I'm getting roughly a 16 millisecond ping. That's actually pretty fantastic. If you're getting like 300 or 800 or 1,000, then that could be problematic and something to consider. So we're looking for download ideally north of 25 or 50, upload north of 5, and ping ideally less than say 80 or 100. Other tools you can use, there's the Internet Connection Monitor, which is a free add-on for Chrome and Edge Chromium. So if I just add that here, It's a little tool that you can have installed in your browser setting. Oh, there it goes. Did that to me again. We're going to go here and we're going to show that. And so it just pops out and lets you know like how good is your connection where you are, right? You might be testing it at home after watching this video, but make sure you're testing it at the venue, right? How reliable is that internet? Another thing you can do is you can use a terminal session. So I'm on a Mac right now. So if I were to type ping google.com and hit enter, it's going to do 5 ping tests. And as you can see here, I'm seeing some numbers. What you can do is actually, sorry, this is going to continue to ping, but monitor that check-in section. Watch it for 20 minutes. See how many drops they have. That's worthwhile checking to make sure that you've got a good connection. You can also do that in Windows, of course, as well. So we're looking to test internet when we're there. Probably pretty much every time, because it may have been great last time, but something's happened since and nobody's noticed. So it's a good rule of thumb to test your internet connectivity. So speed test, internet connection wizard, using a terminal or command prompt. Those are important elements. So I'm going to now go into more detail for those of you that are looking to learn more. So let's do that. So I'm going to come back to my other screen here, and we're going to dig in a bit. I'm going to move me out of the way, and I'm going to dig in. So what have I missed? So when you're, we talked about the troubleshooting too. So when you approach a venue, if you haven't been there before, and or you've been there and you're trying to work things out, things to ask them about. When was the last internet upgrade? If it was anything less than 3 years ago, I would be asking questions. How much internet and Wi-Fi are they sharing with customers to date? If they've always offered wireless as a QR code in the place, but hardly anyone takes them up on it, so there's not any demand, then they might think it's great, but as soon as you add 80 people at once, you might discover that it's different. When was the last wireless upgrade? Wireless standards change all the time. Older phones don't support newer standards and are less efficient. So, when was the last wireless upgrade is important. Is the wireless network used for other streaming already today? Are they pulling down football games and music, and are they allowing customers to stream Netflix from every single table? These are things that you might want to check in on before you go and host your event. And is the network considered reliable already? So just a simple question to ask is have you ever had complaints about wireless? They'll probably tell you no, but it's worth asking. So getting a little more specific, internet connection speed is something you want to test for. Firewall blocks. So some places may actually block certain things at the firewall. What if they're blocking access to Spotify? What if they're blocking access to YouTube? What if they're blocking access to Google Cloud? These are things that you're going to want to discover before game time. Probably fairly rare overall, but something definitely worthy to consider. And then the wireless network quality. So just because they have wireless networking and they've always had it for serving staff to use point of sale and take people's payment, doesn't mean that the range goes through the entire bar or venue. There may be spots in the place that just has no connectivity. So certainly walking around your first time in the venue and just scanning how reliable is the internet as you walk through the place. A 10-minute walk around with your phone, doing speed tests along the way, maybe even making a little matrix of tracking it so that you can show the owners and go, look, your wireless here stinks. So that's something to think about. And then such a range, compatibility, how old is that wireless network? What standards does it support? And then what existing purposes and load is used there as well? So that's something to think about. I'm going to just move this. And then one other thing to consider here is your setting expectations for players. So are they going to be on wireless? Are they on cellular? Is the wireless so bad that it's jumping back and forth between wireless and cellular? That's something to watch for. And then the browser. If they're on an iPhone, for example, the browser is Safari typically by default. Are they in a regular browser session, or did they switch it to private or in private a long time ago and didn't even realize, right? We're talking about players now. Are they turning off cookies? How old is the phone? The older the phone, the older the browser sometimes, right? Sometimes they just retire out certain browsers over time. So it's something to just be mindful of. It shouldn't really be your responsibility as a host, but it's something to consider. So let me see if I've got everything covered here. I think I do. And I'm going to clock in right under 10 minutes. I'm going to stop right now. Have a good day. Bye.